This is the reason why Colombia didn't win. This is the reason why Colombia, who did everything and anything to get a goal, couldn't get the one goal. Colombia lost out literally by a toe. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Look at this. Had Davinson Sanchez been 2 shoe sizes smaller, Colombia would have won that game. Unbelievable. But that's what we have these days. So let's get to it. Welcome, episode number 6 of the Colombian Soccer Show. My name is Juan Pimiento. Thank you so much for joining us as always. Boy, this is getting more nerve-wracking, more difficult every single game. Today was just insane. It was sickening. We'll put it that way. If you hear my voice cracking, it's because I celebrated that goal like you couldn't imagine. I was doing laps around the venue where I was here in Sacramento, and it was just absolutely cathartic, and I screamed. People were filming me as I was yelling the goal, only to come back in front of the TV and see that it was disallowed. And it took a good few minutes for them to finally show this. I'll put it up again because this is just ridiculous. Look at this. By the toes of Davinson Sanchez. Unbelievable. This is going to go down as one of those memorable and painful refereeing moments in Colombian World Cup history. Of course, era gol de Yepes. And there's so many. God, there's so many. Carlos Baca's goal that should have stood against England in 2018, but Mark Geiger, and I'll leave it at that, disallowed a legal throwing goal. But anyways, this is what it was. What matters though, Colombia got the result. Colombia first place, and Colombia move on to the side of the bracket that we all wanted to be in. And we'll break that down in a minute because we have almost a full scope now. 8 of the 7 teams on our quarter of the bracket are settled. So before we get there, thank you so much for joining me after this just tense session. My neck hurts, my head hurts, my throat hurts, everything hurts. I know you too. So please, if you choose so, and I hope you do, comment on this live stream. I want you guys to use this also as a session to unleash against VAR, against the ref, against whoever you want. So if you're watching live on Facebook, comment right below. If you're watching on YouTube as well, comment as well. We're not live here on YouTube, but you can comment down below and I'll make sure to read the comments, of course. Thank you to J Pepper for shouting out our good old friend Gary Dorr, Gustavo Puerta, who had another amazing physical effort in this game. We'll break it down. Follow us as well on Instagram, on TikTok, on X, because we have content up there throughout the World Cup every single day. And I know this is going to be talked about for a while because Colombia will have 1 week to rest. And a lot of players need that rest very, very dearly. Then till the next matchup, of course, on Saturday, July 4th. U.S. Independence Day, in the round of 32 for the first time ever. So let's talk about it. 0-0. But man, it was everything but, right? On both sides, really, because Portugal also had clear chances. And if it wasn't for Camilo Vargas, this would have been a loss. He had the save of the tournament so far. That incredible shot in the first half, point blank. I forget if it was Cristiano or Bruno. I forget who it was, but man, what a save. And I talked about that on the preview, how key and how important it is for Camilo Vargas to be on his game, and he was. So I want to give him kudos because he really was on his game today. I want to throw to the screen here on my computer just so we can see a bit of the breakdown, courtesy of our folks here at SofaScore. Not a sponsor, but if you want to sponsor SofaScore, shout me out. So this is how we lined up, and there's a lot of good and a lot of grievances. There's one particular grievance that I need to get off my chest because this was a surprise. Santiago Arias starting. Machado, not so much because we know how much Mojica has struggled at times, especially in the second halves. I think the Machado call, and you can tell here, he had a good game overall. He also, again, had his ups and downs, especially in the second half, but that is what it is with Colombia, and especially when you face Cancelo and then Diogo Dalot, who came in the second half. Who else we got? John Cordova, who more of a wrecker, a physical presence than a real shooter. We'll put it that way. And he created some havoc, but again, in the box, not much of anything. But this one, Santiago Arias, what was this? And I've been scouring the internet. I've been trying to figure out what happened. Why wasn't Daniel Munoz in the starting lineup? I didn't see reports of injuries. I didn't see reports of illness. I didn't see reports of, I don't know, a family event or I don't know. There's nothing. There is no reason why Munoz couldn't start, and especially this is the worst part of it all. He came in at the 87th minute. What? What's even the point? And the crazy thing is, he came in, and the first intervention he had, first time he actually touched the ball, he was blazing down, down the flank, the right side, and he put a crossing that almost ended in a goal. What a concept! I don't get it. I'm dumbfounded by that decision by Nestor Lorenzo. And Arias was good. I'm not saying he was a disaster, but you can't tell me that with the game 0-0, and with Arias having had to do all the defensive work he did against Nuno Mendes, that Munoz coming in 70th minute, even 75th minute, or even earlier, Colombia, he could have scored. I'm convinced he could have scored like he has in the last two games. So I don't know. I haven't heard Lorenzo's press conference. I hope somebody, an actual real journalist, get to ask him, because I cannot explain for the life of me, how do you leave Daniel Munoz out on the bench for 86 freaking minutes with the game 0-0 and Colombia pressing and trying to score? That I couldn't explain. Now, on the other side, we also had one change that I didn't see coming, which was Ruben Neves coming in the lineup, which also shows you that Roberto Martinez was very much aware of guys like John Arias and Gustavo Puerta and how he needed, I feel like, to take care of his own midfield, right? Sacrificing a guy like João Neves, who ended up coming on halftime. And for the most part, he was kept at bay, João Neves. But this, to me, told me that Martinez was concerned about the midfield, about Puerta, and especially about Arias. Now, what was interesting too is that the way that Lorenzo laid it out on defense is not what I expected, but it didn't surprise me, because on defense, Colombia played a 4-4-2. I said in the preview that as much as I would have left James off the 11 and put in someone like maybe Juan Camilo Portilla, he basically went with the same 11 in a way. Of course, again, the three changes. James was kept in. Again, I didn't expect any different, really. But the difference is that it was a 4-4-2. John Arias was on the right, Lerma and Puerta in the center, and Luis Diaz doing the Lord's work on the left, helping out Machado with Nuno, with Joao Cancelo. Nuno Mendes was Arias and the Arias is basically Arias and Arias. That was their assignment. And I was very fearful that this would have caused John Arias to be not as influential in the game, because we've seen this time and time again when Arias is being sent down to the right wing, that takes him out of the offensive game a lot. We saw it a lot in qualifiers, but it wasn't really the case. John Arias was very much active. We kept seeing the same John Arias that we've seen throughout this tournament, which is a good thing. It is a good thing because whether it's in transition or on a possession build-up, John Arias is necessary for this team because he's playing at a very good level. And again, he can dribble, he can create associations, gives and goes. and he can track back as well. So seeing that made me very happy because I can tell that Arias on his game. James. James improved. I'm very happy to report that James improved upon his game against the Congo, which was an improvement upon the game against Uzbekistan. James was more active, he was more involved. We saw him take shots on goal. So we saw more of the James that I think we all kind of expect at this point of his career. And again, he wasn't as influential, I guess, in terms of through balls and everything. We'll put it here on the screen. This is the SofaScore stats. But this was, I mean, an improvement. Again, not that it's a great number, but this wasn't as high in the previous two games. This is the big improvement right here, the key passes and the accurate passes as well. So James, more involved, more inspired, more effective. That was good. And I am concerned about Luis Diaz because, again, I said it on the preview, it's not because he doesn't try, not because he doesn't put all the effort in. He put another 90 minutes in, but he looked tired. He looked tired by about just after halftime. He looked tired. And it's affecting his game. It clearly is affecting his dribbling, his moves, even his shooting, I think. And he had a lot of chances too. Luis Diaz was also in the first half very close to goal, and he can't get it in. He just can't get it in. But again, I blame that a lot on his physical state, which means that this week-long break coming up, I think if anyone's gonna be able to benefit from it, it's him. And that's gonna be key because we need Luis Diaz now more than ever in the knockout stages. But overall, good effort. Davison Sanchez was really good. Really, really good. His best game so far as well. And of course, he had the goal that wasn't, right? And I was happy too because Sanchez was more involved on offense as well, just supporting, right? You saw him very much up in the field, supporting Lerma, moving into the side of the right side of Lerma when Puerta was in between the defenders, when James was out in the wing. That space was Sanchez's and he filled it. So Sanchez all around, really good. Lukumi had a couple of rough spots, but mostly solid in this game. And what do we say about Camilo Vargas? Again, the lifesaver. An incredible, I can't overstate it, an incredible save that saved Colombia from losing out in first place. So overall, I think Colombia were very good. But again, as it happens often with Colombia, man, we put in the effort, we take the shots. We got to give credit to Diogo Costa as well, the Portuguese goalkeeper. He ended up, and I'll get the stat with 6 total saves. But man, we just can't put in the back of the net. This is now 2 games in a row, but it's been months of Colombia for some reason just can't finish. A lot of the shots when in the vicinity of Costa, it's not like Colombia were forcing Costa into amazing saves. So I don't know what's going on. Luis Suarez came in the game. He had a couple of good looks, couldn't put them away. So I am concerned about that because again, it's been months of this, and because now it's the time in the knockout stages where we can't allow ourselves to lose out on chances. We have to finish. We can't give these teams breathing room. So that's a pending assignment, and I mean I don't know what's gonna change because I think Colombia is doing everything in their power to set themselves up for scoring one, two, even 3 or 4 goals, and they can't do it. They can't do it. Let's look ahead a little bit ahead now because again, this is for Colombia first place. So mission accomplished, right? This is the end of Group K now. And as you can see, mission accomplished. To me, that's the key takeaway from a result standpoint in this matchup is that Colombia are number one, 7 points. And this is why I've been harping on this for so long. I'll put it up on the screen and I hope you guys can see it because it's kind of small, but this is the bracket as it stands. We're live here before the end of the Argentina group. So we still got this pending basically. whether Austria or Algeria make it. I'm gonna zoom in just so you guys can see because this is kind of hard to visualize. But we still got this pending, who's gonna face Spain, and who's gonna face Switzerland, basically out of the group of the third place teams. So this is why this matters because this is the corner of the bracket that we were all shooting for. This is Colombia right here, bottom right hand corner. We're gonna face Ghana. Ghana lost out to Croatia before this game, and there was a good chance that it was gonna be Croatia actually, because had Ghana not lost to Croatia, Ghana would have become second place, and they would have ended up right here facing Portugal, and Croatia would have been facing Colombia as one of the third place teams, and I would have been afraid because in the preview we mentioned that Colombia during that March friendly in Miami, Colombia were atrocious against Croatia. So that had me a very, very concerned. But it didn't happen. Not to say that Ghana is not a dangerous team because we know that they can also create trouble. But if you had me choosing between Croatia and Ghana, I'll take Ghana every day of the week. So it's not just this, but come this road right here, basically, look at this. We have either Switzerland, Iran, or Algeria in a possible round of 16. And then in a possible quarterfinals, which to me, that's the benchmark for Colombia because it's our best performance ever in a World Cup is the quarterfinals in 2014. To meet the benchmark on July 11th, odds are it'll be Argentina. And we know these guys really well. And it's going to bring back memories of Copa America. I know for a lot of us, very painful, of course, but boy, I think this is gonna set itself up for a delicious revenge effort against Argentina, and then from there, who knows? Who knows? There's England, England right here. There's Mexico. There's Norway. There's Brazil, and Brazil don't have it easy against Japan either, by the way. So I'm just glad again that first place happened because that's for what I just explained. Colombia now have a real path to a quarterfinal and even a semifinal, which a semifinal will be amazing. Amazing to finally break through and again overcome what Colombia accomplished in that famous Brazil 2014 World Cup. So let me know what you guys think. Again, comment, vent. What don't you think of that VAR decision? I'll tell you guys. I know that it hurts, right? And I'll put it up again. This hurts. If we go by the letter of the law, I guess it's not a goal, right? But man, Colombia just keep getting shafted by the most slim of margins in refereeing decisions. I can't begin to tell you just how frustrating it is. And let me get my water bottle out of the way. We're not sponsored by Gatorade. I wish we were. But man, it's so frustrating because it happens, I feel like so often with these games that we get things like that going against us. So I get your frustration and I want you to tell me about it. So comment, share it, share this stream so we can all vent, we can all talk about how we were heartbroken and we had our hearts ripped out of us by the slimmest of margins, by the toes of a foot. The toes of a foot from Colombia getting their most important win since Copa America. And that would have been, I think, glorious for Colombia to actually make it out of the group 9 for 9 would have been incredible. Incredible. But again, it's not just the result. Colombia, I think, can leave the group stage knowing that they're playing at a high level and they're capable of playing at a high level against quality opposition. To me, the biggest takeaway it's that when it comes to performance is that I laid this out as a challenge to Colombia. Can we face Portugal, a top tier team with an all-time goal scorer, with world-class midfielders and world-class wing fullbacks? Can we actually play toe to toe, mano a mano, with a team like that? Can we get the draw? Can we get the win? And Colombia proved they can. That's very important. Very important. It wasn't perfect. Again, it wasn't perfect. Colombia suffered at times during this game. But Colombia, I think for more stretches, were the better team. And had that goal gone in, Colombia would have won. And they would have justified that performance with a hard earned, well earned victory if it wasn't for the toes of Bigfoot Davinson Sanchez. So, Colombia fans, rest easy heading into the next game. I'm actually going to confirm because I just saw on that bracket how it said that it was on July 3rd, but I'm going to check for us just to let you know when the game is because I'm not confirmed if it's the 4th or the 3rd. Okay, I'm reading that it's the 3rd. July 3rd. Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. We'll probably see homeboy Patrick Mahomes in the stands. So I'm saying July 3rd. It'll be evening, afternoon, basically, in the US, depending on where you are. And July 3rd in the US is also, for a lot of people, a holiday because of July 4th being a Saturday. So Friday, July 3rd, and my graphic is actually wrong because of that. So I'm not going to put it up. But that's the next time you'll hear from me. And that's the next time I hope you join us. Friday, July 3rd, we'll do the preview of Colombia against Ghana. We'll break it down as we always do here on the Colombian Soccer Show. What you need to know about Ghana, what we need to know about Colombia as well. Any news, possible injury. I don't see anything about injuries coming out of this game. Thankfully, everybody's been with a good clean bill of health. Knock on wood. Everybody's good, right? It's just fatigue. Luis Diaz is fatigued. James is fatigued. I think a lot of... Oh, what's going on here? All right. We're partying it up here in the Colombian Soccer Show. But so far, again, just it's a matter of resting. And the fact that Colombia are able to rest for a whole week is huge. Because it ain't going to get any easier from here. Ghana is tough. They'll be a very tough out. But I trust that Colombia will be able to get the result. So now we get to the actual real World Cup for a lot of us, right? Past the group stages, knockout stages, round of 32. And onward and upward we go with Colombia now. Let's see how far we can take this. We'll be rooting on. So thank you again so much for joining us. As always, I invite you, as always, to follow us, to like us. If you're watching right now on Facebook, I know a lot of you watch after the fact. Make sure to like our page. Make sure to also comment on this stream and share it as well. Share it with your Facebook friends too. If you're watching on YouTube, like this video, subscribe. If you like the video, the algorithm will pick it up. More people will be able to see our show, our community, when they search for Colombian soccer content in English. So make sure to give us a like, give us a subscription so you don't miss a single video, and you get notified as soon as the preview for Colombia and Ghana is up, and I'll be live after Saturday, of course, with a recap right here on Facebook and also on YouTube after the game. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok and X for content, for reels, for more discussion. I'm trying to build this community for you, for everybody who speaks English, who's Colombian, who is children of Colombians, who is the partner of a Colombian, or who simply enjoys Colombian football for any reason. Everybody's welcome here to the Colombian Soccer Show community. So again, follow us, like us, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, X, and on TikTok. On that note, thank you again so much for joining me. We'll see you again next time this Friday, July 3rd for Colombia Ghana, the preview and the round of 32. I'll see you next time.